But thank you, thank you. So a big hand again for these guys who are putting up this conference. How's that? Thank you. So what I was going to actually do is, I was coming on stage with you guys. So come on here. Peter doesn't know anything about this either, and Kimberly knows a little. But before we start the slides, just a little heads up. So I'll pass these thanks on. So thank you, Peter, for so we were developing the Ekahau capture application that you just saw, and Peter was a key player in like trying to make it right. You guys decide, of course, when it's out, but I just wanted to say you do a lot of good things for your community, and this is really one of them. And it's a pleasure to be working, and we're very privileged at Ekahau, first of all, to be working with all of you, but to have such talent like Peter, working together with us and trying to make the products right, not just for Peter, but you have the ability to think about like every user in the community. So I think the product becomes simple enough to use for everybody and not just for you. So thank you so much, man.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for putting packet capture into the sidekick.
Hey, anytime, man. And just so you know, who else was working on that project? Who was coding the whole thing? You remember?
I do. It was Adrian.
Yeah, so Adrian isn't here today, but he's actually coding the whole packet capture application for us, because we didn't have guys. So big hand to Adrian Granadas.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Peter.
No problem.
And Kimberly, why on earth are you here?
I don't know, you see? Why am I here?
So here's the deal, and check out the animation, guys. Dude, hand-built. This is what I do back in Helsinki when I don't travel. PowerPoint transitions all the way, baby. So before we begin my 13 minutes of presentation time, which actually I have 11 more, I wanted to talk about this. So I've been to Airheads a few times, and whenever I'm at the booth, people almost kill me. Like there's guys from Beep and Beep, which are really big companies, and they come to me, they're your customers too, and they're like, why on F don't you have this, I need to put in the maps twice and all that into Ekahau first and then Airwave. And so what we've been working together on with Kimberly, Özer, and the Aruba development team, in short, is this. So starting, is it November 3rd? In the Airwave release?
Yeah, I believe so, in the next Airwave release.
So you can actually, Airwave understands Ekahau file format, so you can directly put that in there. So thank you, Kimberly, for working with me. So it seems like last WLPC, which was in February, we were doing the same hugging thing. And it's not just because I like Kimberly, I really do, but it's like we just like to do stuff together. So, thank you so much. And I know there's some hesitation every now and then, not from your company, but from some companies, marketing executives on like, you can't do this and you can't launch this kind of stuff at these kind of conferences, but thanks for the help.
Yeah, you should have heard Aruba product managers last week trying to corral Jussi when he said he was going to go on stage and announce their product. It's like...
And hug Kimberly.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is great. We're really excited to have, Ekahau and the Aruba Airwave product kind of integrated and working together. As part of what I do for training and certification, we go out, we talk to all of our SEs, all of our partner SEs, and we say, what are you guys using for RF planning? Aruba has their own RF planning tool built into Airwave, but it's got some limitations, and a lot of them, 80, 90% of them are saying we're using Ekahau, and then we're kind of trying to manually go and put that all into Airwave. So now we've got the ability to integrate these two products together, and I think it's going to be, better together.
Yes, thank you. Thanks guys so much. And the real benefit comes here, right? So it's all about the use case. So not only can you put the maps in, but then it leaves you more time to read, and study for the exams, right? And not just for Kimberly, but really anyone who's involved, like this guy. He doesn't seem to get his Wi-Fi right. Anyhow, okay, thank you, and sorry if this sounded sales pitch-ish, which I guess it was, but I still have 8 minutes before it's beer time, so I just wanted to, this was my original agenda, but maybe I'll talk about it later when we have more time. because I did promise the CWNP guys, oh, this is me, whatever. I did promise the CWNP guys, oh, this is also me. Last year, in case you didn't know, you don't know, I was here too. I promised the CWNP guys that I would talk about the next generation technologies and how they will work with Wi-Fi design and all that. And obviously, let's focus on 802.11ax, right? So what's going to happen when AX comes out, and how is that going to impact my Wi-Fi design, and what kind of tools am I able to use then, and all that. So everybody knows this. OFDMA means more clients get a better experience out of the network, assuming that you have AX APs and you have a significant number of AX clients. So it's really dependent on the percentage of clients that are OFDMA. And then another thing that will significantly boost your performance, or at least it's expected to boost it, is BSS coloring, again, assuming that you are running an AX environment. And what's really going to dictate your Wi-Fi design come AX and start coming those clients is the expected amount of 802.11ax versus legacy clients. So those percentages and expected percentages will have some impact to how well your network will work and how you should plan for capacity. And we'll talk about that in more depth later. Not in this presentation, but in the future when it's kind of more due time. But real quickly, people ask us like, okay, how are these tools gonna work then? Well, we are already running site surveys for AX in our office, and just so you know, the existing Sidekick some of you have works perfectly for AX site surveys, given that it's a passive measurement device, it's not transmitting anything, and it can perfectly decode all the relevant information of AX already today, and that's what we're doing at our office already. So that's gonna be a non-issue. And we are planning to release the product, both planner and site survey, to support AX, I guess in January, but I'm gonna, that Mikko, January, right? Is Mikko there? He's nodding his head. Yes, fingers crossed January, so let's call it Q1 or Q2. Oh, December? Which year? I'm not gonna sing that though. So then from AX, obviously it's gonna be AD next, and already, I was gonna say there's no AD products available, but there is one, for example, from Aruba, but that's an outdoor point-to-point type of a scenario. So there really isn't AD client-facing APs, and there really isn't AD clients. So that's a wait-and-see type of scenario. We'll talk about that later. And it's a bit of a chicken-egg problem. There's no APs because there's no clients. There's no clients because there's no APs. But what I really wanted to talk about, I do still have 5 minutes left, is BLE. Because that seems to be more and more popular with Wi-Fi designers. Now I can see. So how many of you have deployed BLE already in some way, shape, or form? Ian, Bayer has a couple of others, but it's like 2%, 3% of the audience. That's still fairly niche. Who thinks you will deploy BLE, not this year actually, but next year? Next year, who believes that you will deploy BLE? 3 times as much. So it's definitely catching on. It's definitely catching on, and I'm happy to hear that. So for BLE, I mean, for example, Ekahau has a BLE planning tool. I think some of the other guys have too. For surveying, though, today, there's no like standard way for surveying BLE. And is it really necessary? I mean, what do you guys, somebody tell me, how do you guys verify your BLE deployment? Yes, sir. Yeah? Exactly. It's some kind of an app, or it could be a Windows app, or it could be like if you're designing something for mobile phones, maybe you're using the actual location tracking app on the phone to kind of understand it, or you can see the BLEs, the audible BLEs and stuff like that. So that's something I guess we need to work on. So how many here would be interested in a standardized BLE surveying capability in some kind of standardized device? Well, about the same number as even less than who's going to deploy it next year. So let's call it, maybe there's no need for that really at this point. Maybe there is, so leave it at that. So another interesting technology question to me is Wi-Fi RTLS versus BLE RTLS. How many has deployed Wi-Fi RTLS in the last year? One? Anybody else? Wi-Fi RTLS? About the same number as BLE. How many believe that BLE will get more popular than Wi-Fi RTLS? BLE more popular than Wi-Fi RTLS? And how many believe Wi-Fi RTLS will remain more popular than BLE? Yeah, so definitely it looks like the vote is that BLE might take over. So we'll have to see, but I'm asking these questions because we have to understand as tool vendors, where the industry is going, and now that we have you guys in the room, it's kind of an interesting discussion. Then there's the whole 4G, 5G situation. How many has deployed DAS or some kind of a 4G, 3G network in the last year? Again, just a few of you. So it seems like Wi-Fi should still be. Somebody tell me, how did you deploy DAS when you did? Anybody?
Oh, that was a surprise. So we use current infrastructure from the MNOs. We test it again manually. We don't have real tools to test it. And we're running now a private APN, and we're going to run a virtual mobile network operator to test it as well.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So maybe not really up your alley, or up our alley, that whole thing, at least for this audience. So I have 1 minute left, and I just wanted to ask, and this slide set was made before I came here. So what I kept seeing when I went to Silicon Valley last week and here, I'm hearing more and more Zigbee, actually. Anybody? Zigbee. In the last year or in the next 6 to 12 months? In the next, yes. Yeah, so that's becoming as popular as BLE. Just some food for thought, like where is this going? And then final question, any other technologies wireless technologies that you design and deploy that we didn't mention here? We mentioned Wi-Fi, BLE, Zigbee, 4G, 5G. Laura? Okay, Laura, anybody? No? Anything else? So sounds like for Wi-Fi engineers, it's really Wi-Fi, some BLE, and of course some Wi-Fi RTLS. I want to take a second just to thank you guys for your feedback, and this kind of stuff really converts into our features and everybody else's features and stuff like that, but we really need to understand this, and really thank you for your time. And with that, we'll be staying at the Ekahau booth for a while. If you'd like to talk about this, like talk about other technologies besides Wi-Fi, what should we do, how should we do it, how did we screw up the BLE stuff, or how it works for you, just come over there and let's talk. But thank you very much. I think it's deep dive and dinner time. So again, thank you CWNP for having me on.